Hello and welcome to the Sisters for Fitness Wellness Show. I'm Stephanie Gaines-Bryant, and we're working today with part 2 of our program on acupuncture. We're talking to Dr. Cindy Tran, Dr. Denise Tyson, Dr. Karen Jackson-Williams, and they're from the Advanced Integrative Health Group. And today we're going to focus on the fact that there's more than just the needles when we're talking about acupuncture. As a matter of fact, there are things that you can do without needles. Yes. Let's talk a little bit about that, starting with Dr. Tran.
Correct, and I will start by just listing them. We do cupping, where we use cups to stimulate muscles and the surface of your skin.
And how would that work? Using is that something that athletes, first of all?
Yeah, so Michael Phelps is very famous, known for getting cups done. He, has the circles on his back. But what it does is it draws your muscles, the toxins from the muscles, to the surface, and it brings circulation and blood to the muscles. When athletes like Michael Phelps, when they swim, the cold water constricts their muscles, so there's no blood circulation there. And what the cups do is it creates kind of like a bruising effect. It brings all the blood to the surface, and it loosens any stiffness, it loosens tension, and it allows our muscles to be flexible again.
So, and you were naming some others?
And then there's Moxibustion, which is an herb.
Moxibustion.
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 Yes.
Okay, what is Moxibustion?
Moxa for short.
Moxa for short,
Okay.
M-O-X-A, we can say that. So Moxa is where we utilize an herb called mugwort. It has certain properties where when you burn them and you place it over the skin, it also stimulates our nervous immune system, nervous system, lymphatic system. It also brings circulation to the area, and it warms the body up. So great for anybody who's anemic, short of blood, somebody who's cold all of the time. It creates a permanent warming sensation to the body. It warms you up. It builds energy. It builds chi, which is the Chinese word for energy.
May I interject?
Yeah, go ahead.
I like to tell my patients that it's as if we were using fertilizer. So if we are fertilizing our plants or whatever. So the moxa, this herb that is dried mugwort, is placed on a point that we select, and it's there to help nourish, build, and move, as Dr. Tran said, the chi, which is the energy. So it just provides an extra layer for an effect that we are trying to get the needle action to do. So it just enhances it. So I like to say like a fertilizer. It's like fertilizer.
So you would deal with someone who had low blood?
Yes, we can
With
help.
that,
Yes.
Who else is helped by this?
Anybody, low energy, and we'd have
Low
to,
energy?
Low energy, yes. We'd have to ascertain whether one can has too much heat in their body or not enough. If somebody, for example, has high blood pressure, we wouldn't recommend. High blood pressure is just this increased energy, right? And so we would not recommend that we add any heat, and the heat is going to increase that like a fertilizer. So there are some patients that we would not use Moxibustion on, or the moxa, but others that are low fatigued, who just need some extra support, we would use that. So,
how do you combine, for example, herbal medicine with what you do in the acupuncture?
Okay, so herbal medicine is great for patients who have like chronic issues. So if a person has a particular ailment for a long period of time, it takes a long period of time to really to move that. It's very helpful for that. So you can do the needling, and then you can match a herbal formula with the needling to help that along and assist that along. Some things are just internal, like if a person has, let's say, hives, herbal medicine is great for that because you're dealing with something that's in a level that's, underneath, popping up from your immune system. And the herbs do great with, I think, bringing down the level of the reaction that you're having. And you can have needles as well on top of that, but sometimes the formula works best, and together. So I use them both.
Well, how do you make sure that what you're prescribing with the herbal medicine doesn't conflict with other medications that the patient might be using?
Well, with the herbal medicine program, we study pharmacology as well. And so we have references for that. Just like any other medication, we refer to the PDR in Western medicine. We do it as well. And a lot of the herbs actually are in the PDR. We do have to look at that, just as MD physician has to look at it too. It's a medication.
So do you find that you're combining the herbal medicines with what the person is already on and that's working, or the herbal medicines alone? How does that work?
If a person's on a medication, and we don't tell them to stop the medication, they continue with their medication, but we can enhance it. So we look at, if a person, let's say they're on hypertension medication, and maybe working, that person also may still be tense,
Right.
working against the medication.
Exactly.
Or we might be able to talk about their diet, what they're doing, because they're taking the diabetic medication, but they're still eating like tons of bread. So we work with that, and we also can work with maybe, like we talked about before, bringing down cravings. Yeah, because that could be working against them with the medication, and maybe they need to sleep, as Dr. Karen was saying. People need to sleep, and they're not doing that. You're going to work against your hypertension medication.
We have a lot of folks out here who, that's one of the main complaints I hear as a yoga instructor. People say they're not sleeping. And that's as vital as what you do when you're awake, is
As
making
eating.
sure
Yes.
that you get enough sleep. What can you do to help with that?
Well, what we do, we have acupuncture that helps, but we also have Chinese herbal medicine that's great with helping a person to supplement. There are particular herbs that we can give in a formula, and they'll be sleeping every night. They can't fight it.
Well, we also talked about adding heat to the body. What about us folks who are in our 50s and the body is too hot? The women going through the change. And that's something I often tell this as well. That's something my mother didn't tell me about.
Oh, right.
Who knew?
Right. So there are different reasons that the body retains heat. And we would do an intake to determine what your particular pattern of disharmony is or imbalance is. And based on that, we could provide a formula. So there's some that have what we would call kidney Yin Deficiency, for example. And kidney Yin Deficiency says that there is not enough water, coolness, stillness in one's life. And so it helps to create that effect. It helps to cool off. It helps to bring one down into that meditative state that most of us don't want to talk about. Nobody has time to be still. But that inability to create stillness in your life is what creates this overabundant heat in our bodies. And so we have to be forced to receive that stillness, if you will, that you can get from yoga as well, right? You know, just the asanas are there for us to meditate and to just calm down. I guess if I'm saying it right?
No, absolutely.
So it allows us to help bring that cooling effect, or what we would call the yin, into our life. And there's a yin and yang. We hear about yin and yang, right?
Yes, we do.
And so the yin is the more quiet side, or the inward, and the yang is the more active. It's about doing, and yin is about being. And so we're trying to help our patients to have balance with their yin and yang, how to be as active when you need to be, but also to be able to come down when you need to. And when we're able to balance that, then we'll find that we're cooling off or we're warming up. whatever the imbalance is, Chinese medicine is able to help bring the stability or the balance there, either through the herbs or through Moxibustion or through gua sha or the different modalities, herbal medicine that we utilize as Chinese practitioners.
You mentioned 2 modalities. Are there others?
I mentioned cupping and Moxibustion, and there's also acupressure for those who absolutely refuse needles. It's the same idea. Instead of using needles, we apply pressure and we massage the points according to the protocol that we're following to treat whatever symptoms that our patients need.
Can you treat children?
Yes, we treat children. The youngest can be 6 months. I treat my own kids. The youngest is 3, and I actually stick needles in him. Children and anybody up to the age of 100.
How do the children receive this?
Depends on the child. If they absolutely refuse the needles, we just apply acupressure, but children are very youthful in their energy. They respond to acupuncture the best, actually. They respond very well to acupuncture. Immediately, instantaneously.
Almost like it's instinctive.
Correct.
It is.
Yes.
And they don't have a lot of the blocks we have as adults. So when you apply the medicine, it's immediate. Like, they don't have anything in front of it. As adults, we're thinking, we're resisting, we're doing a lot of things on top of that, but children come a lot without blocks. So when you treat them immediate, they're like, wow, I feel that, I like that.
When it comes to the herbal medicine, you all mentioned earlier that a lot of times if you've had this illness or the situation for a long time, it may take a long time to undo it. So when it comes to herbal medicine, if you prescribe something, it's going to take a long time for the healing to take place, or it depends?
It depends. Some people get immediate relief from the herbal medicine. Usually we prescribe initially like a 10-day type of prescription, so we can see how it's going along. Usually people feel a difference by time the 3rd or 4th day, I would say, that they feel like a real difference in their condition, and then we continue on that, and then we start to modify. So a lot of times it's not the same formula you start with, because a lot of times we've addressed maybe one issue, because we talk a lot of times chronic illness where there are layers and layers of a particular ailment. So we clear something, and then next thing you know, wow, something else popped up.
Like an onion.
It is an onion.
It's peeling back.
We see it all the time.
We
It's
use
an
that
onion.
analogy all the
practice.
time.
Yeah,
Do you ever get to the bottom of the onion?
we do.
We do.
Oh, we do.
That's what acupuncture does.
That's
it peels
right.
away the layers until we get to the root.
Until we get to the root. And so we just modify as we go along, and then with changing the formula, maybe changing the protocol of our acupuncture treating, adding moxa, taking away moxa, add the cupping. We interchange all of these modalities with the patient until we get to deal with the root of it.
Now, you mentioned off air that you give your patients homework.
Yes.
What does that mean?
That means when you leave our office, you're going to have something to do. You need to sleep. You need to probably maybe change some things in your diet. Drink water.
Drink water.
Drink water.
I know the importance of water, but let's talk about it. What is the importance of making sure that you get water in your system? I'm not talking about through soda
Hydration.
or through, these sugary drinks. What's the importance of making sure you got enough fluid in your body?
Well, we're made up of 70%. Our bodies are 70% of water. And we need water to have blood that is nourishing our eyes, that's nourishing our skin, that's nourishing our joints. So if we're not hydrated well, we will suffer. We'll have cramps and, abdominal, leg, whatever. And we'll have to really encourage our patients that we tell them this is a partnership. If you need to do this. And so I also tell my patients that if you are afraid of a needle sensation, then you need to be hydrated. Because oftentimes we have pain because we're not hydrated. So you're feeling the sensation because it's dry. Right? And so we need to create less sensation, drink more water. Drink more water.
So do you have patients who you've dealt with one problem, you've peeled back the onion, you've gotten to the core of what's going on, 2 years later they're back with the same issue? Or what are you seeing with that? Do people come back with the same issue, or does something else crop up, or you just don't see the person again? Is it usually it's cured, or?
Most patients, they find relief, especially if they had some type of pain for a long time, and they may disappear because they're like, "I'm great." I find people come back when they actually haven't done their homework.
Okay.
It's
When they don't make it a lifestyle.
When
they don't make it a lifestyle. They're just coming in because they want to be fixed, and they haven't incorporated that into their daily life and their being.
Right.
Because when you come into us and we say to you, you need to sleep, but then you get the treatment, oh, I feel great, I can stay up and just get 3 hours sleep, you're actually erasing all the work you've done, and you're going to be back. So it's not enough to just come in and get the needles, get the herbal formula, but you also need to follow your homework. You need to do the work.
You need to partner. That's, again, that I can't emphasize that enough. It's a partnership. We're going to do our part, but you're expected to do your part as well. And so if you're not doing your part, then either you're wasting my time, your time, our time, because you have no intention of being well. And we have a wellness model. We're not about sickness. So we're going to help you be well, to live well. We're not interested in just taking your money. We need to get paid. We want to get paid. But we love seeing people thriving, coming to us with a problem, and learning, taking the techniques, the steps, the tools that we've given them, and running with that. And oftentimes we do have patients that come in, they get well, we don't see them for a while, they'll come back, maybe not with the same problem, something else. And then we'll help them with that.
So what have you seen, Dr.
And
Cindy?
I was going to say acupuncture is instilling long-term goals. So we have patients who are perfectly well, but they come back monthly or every 2 months just to maintain themselves, just for maintenance.
Right.
So they don't necessarily have to have a symptom in order to come in and get acupuncture.
And
They
that's
just want to
important.
come in and lie down and sleep and just have needles just clear out and prevent anything that may come up.
What do you say to people who want to be proactive? They come in and they're just wanting to prevent things from happening. They may have had a parent who died from diabetes or high blood pressure or something that, is preventative, something that may be genetic. How do you help that person?
Actually, we have quite a few patients who are like that. They come in and they haven't come in for any particular pain or ailment, but they want to stay well. And they also want to know, well, am I doing this correctly? Sometimes they come in like, I'm not sure if I'm drinking enough water. I'm not sure if my diet's appropriate for me. Not sure if I'm getting enough sleep. We speak, but they come in and they get the treatment and they maintain themselves. As Dr. Tran is saying, they get the maintenance. So you don't have to come in because you're at death's door.
Right.
Because
But
that's
you
a
can
lot
come in
of
when-
times
yeah,
in
just to
our
maintain your wellness.
society, that's when people come in it is really at a bad state,
Right.
and they want to get something done immediately, but people don't want to make the time to come in when they're well.
Right.
Right. I find that most of the people that come to me are those that are, nothing else is working. I've tried this autoimmune diseases, not just one, but several autoimmune diseases on top of. So get a lot of hard cases because Western medicine says there's nothing else. Or we're just going to give you this opioid, this Band-Aid to, but people want to be better. So now I'm at my wit's end, and I heard acupuncture was the only thing left to try. And so they'll come in for that. And then they'll see that there is, some results. The autoimmune disease may not go away, but they live better. We help people to live well where they are too. So some people are going to die in 6 months' time. How can we help them? We help them to live well with the time that they have left. So we meet them where they are.
And they may live beyond the 6 months.
And they may live beyond the 6 months.
That's very powerful.
Yes.
Well, I have to ask you, ladies, since we're in the midst of a crisis here in this country when it comes to health care, whether we should fix what we currently have, whether we should move to something else, just a quick view from you guys. If we do go into another health care plan, if, for example, the Senate approves a plan and then the House goes on to reconcile and approves a final plan, that probably would mean taking away some of what you guys do as far as that being available to patients. What do you all think of that quickly, for if we can get like 30 seconds from each?
And not because people are going to have to be more responsible for their health and take the time to do the things that they need to do to be well, because we're all equipped to heal ourselves. So the healthcare system or insurance has afforded the opportunity for more people to try different modalities, such as Chinese medicine, acupuncture. However, it's been many, many, many years that we didn't have that. As I stated in the last segment, I didn't have insurance for years. And it was important enough for me to pay out of pocket for a service that helped me. It helped me. I mean, I am the person I am today because of the acupuncture that I received many years ago.
Okay.
And so it just will make people either we'll have to have more community setups where we provide the service. People will have to just be more proactive in being well because people are going to be dying.
Absolutely.
So we're going to have to change our diet. We're going to have to do things. We're going to have to demand things, quality food, quality water. We're going to have to become more proactive in our well-being.
Well, Dr. Tran, what do you think?
I believe that just because whatever is going on with the political system right now, it shouldn't demand or not demand what we're requiring out of healthcare in general. So we should still seek, the needs that we need, and acupuncture shouldn't be at the end of the list because of that either.
What do you think, Dr. Tyson?
I think that there's a movement going on here and globally towards a holistic type of view of healthcare and prevention, and also with well-being. I think that people know about it and they're going to demand it regardless of what's going on with the health plan. I think that there are a lot of people in legislation now who are aware of acupuncture. Actually, we have a lot of advocates. So I think that they may not be as much damage, considering that we weren't fully vested in the healthcare system to begin with.
Right.
As far as the insurance plans and the payment, I don't think that there'll be a huge effect on it. I think it'll be quite the opposite. I think now that you really can't stop that ball from rolling. It's already out the gate.
So like Gloria Gaynor said, I will survive.
I will survive. So the model has to change. So currently the health model, or the insurance model, is one of sickness and disease. And I think that people are going to demand a wellness model versus a sick model, because my thoughts, it's capitalism is what is keeping people sick and not well. Because it does not do well, the insurance industry, for people to be well.
It's not profitable.
It's not profitable. So the people are going to have to demand a change in the way that we view the healthcare system. Health versus wellness versus sickness. That model is not working any longer.
And before we run out of time, I want to mention again that you guys have a practice that's in the Gambrels area here in Maryland. That's right down 301.
That's right.
And it's all women all the time?
Yeah. Yes.
We like men, though.
Also want to mention the fact that you all specialize in several things. Go ahead and talk about that.
Oh, okay. Acupuncture, Chinese herbal medicine, Reiki. I am a certified Reiki practitioner.
Okay.
and we incorporate all of the modalities of Chinese medicine.
And quickly, Reiki is energy healing.
It's an energy healing modality. I mostly use it, especially for patients who I don't think would probably tolerate needling. So a person who's frail, a lot of cancer patients do well with the Reiki, that kind of thing, in children.
Oh, okay, okay. So you specialize in several things. Anything else you want to mention about the practice?
We are taking patients. We're taking new patients. We're open for new patients, and we love what we do. We feel as if
Which is very clear.
we were purposed
Today
for
is
this.
very energetic show today. I can absolutely tell that you all love what you do.
Yes.
And you do it well. And the first appointment takes about an hour. The second appointment's following that. And that's because the first appointment you...
it's intensive. We're there going through giving you a physical exam.
Okay.
Yeah, and we're also going all over your medical history and looking at everything, physically, and also getting information verbally.
Yeah, I just want people to know what to expect.
Assessment.
When they walk in. They don't walk in, sit down, and you start sticking them.
No. No, we have to assess.
We have to assess.
We have to assess and figure out what's going on, not just mentally, but physically, and all that good stuff. And then after that, if you come in for an appointment, I was reading on the website that it takes about 45 minutes after that.
Yeah, 30 minutes to 45 minutes for a follow-up appointment with your treatment.
Very good, very good. So I want to let people know, again, we have been talking to Dr. Karen Jackson-Williams. We've been talking to Dr. Cindy Tran and Dr. Denise Tyson. They're from the Advanced Integrative Health Group. We've been talking about acupuncture today and how you can get your needles on.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
You've been watching the Sisters for Fitness Wellness Show. I'm Stephanie Gaines-Bryant. And at the end of the show, with the credits, we're going to give all of that good information. You've got good information on the website.
Okay, good.
As well.
Yes.
That people can check it out first before they come in to see you and make their appointment and stuff. And you deal with everything.
Yes.
From menopause to chronic pain to substance abuse.
Yes.
You do it all from mind, body, spirit.
Yes.
Mind, body, spirit. Yes.
Mind, body,
the whole
spirit.
person.
The whole person.
You've been watching the Sisters for Fitness Wellness Show. I'm Stephanie Gaines-Bryant. Have a great day.